Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Well, I made myself a cup of coffee, and I'm going to chill out for a bit and sit down and enjoy the evening. I hope you all had a good weekend. I did. I went to a indoor volleyball game and played radio bingo. Didn't win anything though, but had a good time. So anyway, I want to talk a bit about what's going on. A little story about some friends of mine who are now elderly. One's passed away. And about what's going on with drunk Dur. Okay, so I'm only going to tell you what I know to be the truth. I don't know the future or anything like that. I only know what's going on right now. So far, there's been six American soldiers that are dead, that have given up their life to protect a bunch of pedophile billionaires. And they're saying many more have been injured, but they're not releasing any of it. If you listen to Pete Hedgewith, he told you they're not going to do it the way they used to do it, where they gave statistics and all that, letting the American people know what was actually going on. So they're hiding a lot. That's one thing. Now, another thing that just happened, I think this afternoon, is the Iranians shut down the Strait of Hormuz. For those who don't know what that is, that's a waterway. And in that waterway, 20% of the world's oil travels through it to go throughout the world and be refined and all that stuff. And because of it, oil is now went up today, $20 a barrel. So that is going to reflect in gas prices and everything else. Now, the other thing that's going on is, nobody expected Iran to bomb neighboring countries. They bombed Dubai. Right now, they're saying over half of Dubai is trying to get the fuck out because they don't want to, Dubai's got a lot of money. So it's not hard for people in Dubai to hop on a plane, get in a car, and go live in another one of their houses somewhere. Or camp out for the next few months. Say over half of Dubai is looking to get the fuck out. A lot of countries have said, look, we've only got 4 or 5, at the rate missiles are dropping, we've only got 4 or 5 days worth of missiles. Because yes, these countries all had a little bit to defend themselves, but they certainly don't have what the United States has. So they're on the phone to Trump going, okay, what are we going to do? Iran's over here bombing the fuck out of us. You're bombing the fuck out of them. We only have so much to protect our people. So what the hell are we going to do? The only solution to that is make more missiles, make more bombs. And that's going to come out of your taxpayer money over in the United States, because someone's got to pay for that. And you guys started the war. And it looks like this war could be going on for 4 or 5 weeks. Now, Donald Trump in the United States said that there was a thing that went out saying they wanted a regime change. But the truth is, that's not what Iran is saying. What is your name? Lochnan or whatever the fuck your name is. You just keep swearing away. Okay, so, but that's not what Iran's saying. Iran has released a statement saying they have rejected anything. They've got no interest in dealing with the United States. So I'm sure that's why Trump is saying he doesn't know how long things are going to last. Part of me thinks he thought he would go in like he did Cuba, or not Cuba, then Argentina, and then everything would be wonderful, and he'd do a regime change, and it'd be wonderful. But that's not what's going to happen here. The last time they tried a regime change in Iran is in 1970. I don't know, it was a while back. The Shah of Iran. I've talked about that before. And as a result, after they put the Shah in, United States did, Iran went crazy, threw the Shah out. He died, and Farah, his wife, lived in New York City for the rest of her life until she died of old age. And it's never worked, ever. You've got at least, just in that country alone, 300 million people who believe the Shah of Iran, the Ayatollah, was Jesus. That's to put it into perspective. So that'd be no different if somebody bombed America and killed Jesus. That's the headspace those people are in right now. The other thing, when we did that, when it was done to the regime change was tried in Iran 80 years ago or 70 years ago. All it did was create a power vacuum. And that's when the Taliban and all that got started, and it just hasn't worked, ever. So this is not going to be a good thing at all, because Iran isn't just going to bend over and say, oh, Daddy Trump, come in and take care of us. That isn't going to happen. And everything that's going on right now is costing money to the United States. Do you know, just to have the tires leave an aircraft carrier, just for those tires to bounce an inch off the ground to go into flight, costs $55,000. That I think a lot of you believe they have. I know they have a lot, but a lot of them are unstable because they're so old. So that's what is going on in the United States. I can't predict the future. But Trump is not their daddy over there like he is to the MAGAs. So that's what I know. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a story about Monica and Jeff in Vietnam, because I was around. Monica is a Canadian, and she was going to university in Windsor, and Jeff was an American, and he dodged the draft. She was heading back from Windsor up north and to her mom and dad's place for a break. And she picked up a hitchhiker, and it was Jeff. Well, I don't know. They've liked each other, fell in love, whatever. She took him home and hid him in her parents' apartment above the garage. And they fell in love. But he was a draft dodger. So they couldn't get married. He couldn't legally work. But at that time, Vietnam had been going on for almost 20 years. Hundreds of thousands of men died in that jungle. Young men died in that jungle. The United States almost lost an entire generation. And guess what? You guys didn't win the war. You left there and you didn't win. The same as last time you left Iraq. You didn't win. So anyway, what they did was she worked, and he worked wherever he could for cash, and they saved up enough to buy a piece of property that had absolutely nothing on it. It was wooded woods, nothing but woods, with a bit of a clearing in the middle. And if you went to the left side of the property, it took you down to a beach. And they lived there, and they lived off the grid, which is popular these days, which was popular back then too. And it wasn't, and what they did was he built like an off the grid cabin type thing, and they planted trees, and they did gardens, and they got bees, and they did pathways down to the beach, and of course grew a little bit of weed, because back then weed was not legal in Canada. And as time went on, that little cabin became a greenhouse. And then in 1973, Jimmy Carter forgave all the draft dodgers, pardoned all the draft dodgers. Well, Jeff never went home, but he did get legal over here and became a Canadian citizen. But at least he was able to go home to see his parents before they passed and all that stuff. See, in the 70s, and there was a lot of people, men, that crossed there at that Michigan-Canadian border, down where my reserve is from. And they, and we helped them, a lot of people, and my people on the reserve helped them get across. Jeff and Monica, Jeff died here not too long ago. Jeff and Monica had a beautiful, beautiful life. And he never once regretted what he did. And there's many, many stories over here in Canada about American men that we took in to save their lives because of a government that thought nothing of sacrificing you for a stupid, useless war. All that is going on over there is you have a madman for a president. He's nuts. He's old. He should be impeached. And he needs to be removed from office. But that's your thing to do. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you about. Oh, and one more thing. And then as time went on, like I said, the Monica and Jeff built greenhouses. They opened trails. They had a big long stretch of beach there on Lake Huron. And people used to go, like, pick up a 6-pack of beer at the variety store, pick up a bottle of wine, go through their trails, go swimming down at the beach, buy some honey, buy some herbs, buy some whatever. And then marijuana became legal. And Monica applied for their grow-op license. And she now grows only for a dispensary company. So she doesn't even, she's old now. She's like me. She doesn't have to do anything. They do it all for her. And you can always tell, because I'm not going to say the road she lives on, but if you're heading down to the beach and the wind's blowing the right way off the lake, all you can smell is weed. So anyway, what do we got here? We got my troll. Trump on top. This is oh, I got nothing but trolls in there tonight. So yeah, and then I wanted to talk about Drunk Dur a bit. I'm basically done with them. I can't be bothered. They're just, Dar is so fucked in the head right now. She does what? A show, and she's lucky if she gets 2 or 3 thumbs up. And it's usually Robin. It's boring. Absolutely boring. And I mean, my God, when someone does a video that they're blowing up the place they believe you live in, that's a pretty fucked up person. Robin, you need to chill. That weed isn't doing you very good. So no, I'm pretty much over it. I'm done with it. Cannot be bothered. So anyway, I just wanted to come on quickly and say, have a good evening. And trolls, I'm not going to pick on you. You live in America. Come on. You guys got it rough enough right now. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye now.